Hey you, are you using keybinds? What's a keybind? I do! Now, whether you're new to the game or you're a seasoned Rust player, this video is going to help you out.
So first off, if you don't know what keybindings are keyboard shortcuts that allow you to customize your gameplay. For example, you can assign a single key to perform multiple key combinations. This can either be toggled, meaning when you press the key once, it will persistently perform the action or actions assigned to that key, such as press Q to auto run. You can also assign the key to only execute the action when that key is held, such as crouch and attack. In a game like Rust, key bindings are essential for quality of life. Now let's get into the first one. Setting up keybinds is really easy. I provided a list of every keybind featured in this video in the description below. To set a keybind, you simply copy and paste into your F1 console. To change the input of your desired key, simply replace the X with whatever key you wish to use. Later in this video, there will be some more advanced use case bindings where I'll go into further detail about personalizing the input values such as auto crafting and audio-visual adjustments. If at any time you want to unassign a keybind, type in bind, the key you want to unassign, and do double quotes. Alright, first off, auto run or auto walk. Now they've actually added this most popular keybind into the graphic user interface. So what you do is you pull up your console, go to options, go to controls, auto walk. You can assign your auto walk key here. I personally like Q, but if you're going to press that as Q, you're going to have to go down and you're going to have to change your crafting menu. I personally like my crafting as this one right here, back quote. Now you notice if I go back up to auto walk or any of these keys, you can assign a secondary. If you don't have a programmable mouse, this is a good place to program your bind there. Alright, I should have tested this before recording that last bit. As I suspected, auto walk is just walking. So if you're psycho like this guy and you need to run away, set this keybind to auto sprint. Alright, let's run through some of the basic ones. These ones are pretty self-explanatory. This one is permanently crouch. You can press a button to permanently crouch. You can combine this with walking or sprinting, so you can essentially auto crouch walk. You can also add additional actions to your permanently crouch. You can actually crouch and attack at the same time. I personally like to use this when it's early, you're prim, and you're, say, mining wood in the dark. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can either set it to press the key and persistently perform the action, or you can actually hold the key to perform that action, and when you let go, that action will subside. Alright, someone stole your boat, you're on oil rig, and you have a long swim home. This one's really going to help you out. This one is auto swim. Alright, so auto swim, you just jump in the water, you press the auto swim button. This is going to sprint, run you forward, that's going to be swimming forward, and it's going to persistently hold the space bar and keep you above the surface of the water. Alright, this one is ADS flashlight, that is aim down sight flashlight or laser. This is going to automatically turn on or turn off your flashlight when you aim down the weapon sight with the right mouse button. Alright, so this one is a use case keybind in my opinion. You're not always going to want to give away your position every time you aim down the sight on your weapon. So what I do is I keep an actual document with all my keybinds on my desktop. This one is in bold because this one you actually have to copy and paste a disable command into your console. So I'm a big sad gingerbread girl right now because I don't have any friends to help me demonstrate this, but you can actually change the volumes for some of the settings within your game. So if say you're raiding and you just want to hear the homies, or you're streaming and you have a toxic player screaming profanity at you, you can automatically mute or unmute them with the press of a key. This key is actually a variable key, so you can keep pressing the key to toggle through the various volume settings that you put on this keybind. So this one is for voices. This is in-game voices when someone is screaming or being obnoxious. I have mine set to O and P. I'll show you right now. Voices volume is set at 5. I have my O to turn it down to 1 so I can still hear things, but it's not as loud. Now I'm going to press P, open that back up, and you'll see voices volume is at 5. All right, so I did say voices is variable. I personally like to have my O and P key to be instantly down or up for the voice volume, but you can actually change that. So I'm going to demonstrate that with the master volume. I have my I key set to the master volume. That's right next to the O and P. I'll show you master volume is at 1. I'm going to press I. It's going to go down to 0.01. Press it one more time, 0.08. Press it one more time, and it's all the way back up. I really love this next one. This is FOV settings, field of view or field of vision. If you don't know what that is, that allows you to zoom in or zoom out. It's basically what real estate you're going to be utilizing to see what's in the game. I'm going to demonstrate it real quick. That's the FOV settings in your console. You can change your FOV with the slider, or I have mine set up as M and N. Say you want to get a better look at something and you don't have a scope like I do. Now I'm going to show you this while looking through the scope. It's going to allow you to get a little bit better look at some items or characters that you're trying to get a look at. Quick note, if you don't know, video games actually render closer and larger in your field of vision. So you'll see how far away that is. See how much that's brought that in. Another quick tip, since I have a gun in my hand and my menu bar is showing, you can actually hot swap your attachments. You have to be holding the weapon in order to do this. So if you have a weapon in your hand and you have multiple attachments, you can't keybind this, but it's actually very useful. So this is really cool. I didn't know about this until I went to make this video and did a little bit of research. Now, if you've played Rust for more than 5 minutes, you've realized that you've had to master the crouch jump. Now, I actually didn't hit the crouch button. There's a keybind that allows you, or there's a setting that you can set in the console command that allows you to, whenever your player collides with an object, that it automatically crouches, making these jumps a lot easier. Now, I put a door on this one just to demonstrate that if there's a door there, it actually won't work on that one. You're gonna have to actually manually jump into that. That's okay, you should know how to crouch jump anyway. So I actually just learned about this one too. This one is going to allow you to interact with objects, doors, or items that are on the ground. It's going to shrink or open up the radius in which those items appear within your crosshair. It's actually called client look radius. Now what it's going to do is it's going to change whatever you're looking at the center of your screen. It's going to open up the radius and make it more sensitive for you to interact with objects in the world. Now right now I've been set at 0.01. Let's make that radius a lot larger, 0.20, and you'll notice in the center of my screen, the open door option pops up. Now, this is extremely useful when you're looking for items in the grass or in the water, and when you're leaving your base, you can actually close your door without directly looking at it. You'll see that I have the closed door option on my screen right now. We'll bring it back down to 0.01. Now I'm going to have to look directly at the door in order to interact and close it. So I'm in an instantly craft server, just so you know, but I'm going to demonstrate. I have the H key set to auto craft bandages, so I'm going to hit the H key now. This is obviously useful when you're in a fight and don't want to waste those precious moments pulling up the menu and hitting the craft. I also set this for a sleeping bag, so say you're in the beginning of a server, you've ran halfway across the map, someone's trying to grub on you, you want to be able to slap a quick bed down and not lose your forward progress. Bam, you can hit a key, start that 30-second timer, and lay down a bed. And here's just a few more details on the autocraft. I'm going to pull up the F1 menu. I'm going to paste in that. So just so you know, obviously, like all the ones within this, you're going to change your key to whatever key you wish this to be. Now right here, this string of letters, that is going to be your item ID. I will provide a link to all of the item IDs in the description below. And then this is your multiplier. So you can set this to craft 3, 4, 5, 1 of whatever item that you want to craft. All right, say you're in a Black Hawk Down situation, you have no way out, and you don't want to give your enemy the sweet satisfaction of getting that final crunchy headshot on. Now, instead of going in the console, typing F1, typing kill, and hitting enter, you're gonna actually set a keybind to do that for you. Now, obviously you don't want to set this key to anything that you're near often. I'm often nowhere near K, so I like to set K as this keybind. Here's how it goes. Okay, this next one is auto pull up the combat log. Now, if you don't know what that is, I suggest looking up further. If you watch any Rust videos, you'll see a lot of the top tier guys, they'll pull that menu up, they'll do a little bit more digging around, and they'll try to connect player names to player IDs. Alright, this one's for you weirdos who play teleport servers. If you don't know what teleport servers are, it's kind of in the name. You can actually set a home to teleport to. Usually you can set up to 3. If you want to donate to a server, they'll usually give you more, less cooldown time. Sometimes you can teleport to bandit camps. Now, I'm not actually going to program this one in myself because this would mess up my keybinds, but you can set these keybinds up to automatically, basically. So in a teleport server, it's kind of something like set home, you name the home. You've already saved the home location. So I saved this home location as 1. Now, instead of going into chat and typing in home/1, you can actually set up a keybind to do this for you. Now, it won't even bring up the chat menu. It won't bring up anything. It'll just instantly bring up this little prompt that says teleporting, and it'll start that countdown timer to teleport you to your house. Now let's watch the teleport. Boom. As you can see, it teleported me here. All right, next up, gestures. Now you can actually program any key to do any of the emotes, none of the dancing, but you can run through, I think there's 7, 8, or 9 of the gestures that you can run through with the click of a button. I personally like to set these up on my number pad. And actually, I believe if you wave at someone, it'll bring their player name up, even if they're like pretty far away. So I know that's something that a lot of people like to have and program in. Just wave at someone and it'll bring their name up. Just something I heard. And I've provided a list of the gestures in the description below. Just look under gestures. Under the keybind, it's bind X, quote, gesture, and then you're just going to change wave, point, thumbs down, thumb up, end quote, and that'll be able to change whatever gesture that you want to program in. Alright, I just wanted to quickly mention that the physics 60 that allowed you to jump a little bit higher is no longer in the game, and you used to be able to quickly switch back and forth between water quality to see through water. That is no longer in the game, as well as the M249 with the 8x or 4x scope, I don't know, I never used it, would reset to the original point where you shot if you did not do automatic or rapid fire.
Alright guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I just first of all want to thank you for being here. This is my first video, for my first attempt at editing. I had a really fun time, and again, just thank you so much for being here. If you got any value out of this content, please consider subscribing. If you go to the Facepunch wiki page, there's some more details into how to make your own keybinds. There are things such as jump, forward, crouch, sprint, all of that stuff. I don't think we need to go in the weeds any farther than we already have. And yeah, so again, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.